Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, chapter 11, text number 13. Titikshaya karunaya maitya chakila jantushu Samatvena cha sarvatma Bhagavan samprasidati. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Lord is very satisfied with his devotee when the devotee greets other people with tolerance, mercy, friendship and equality. Purport. It is the duty of an advanced devotee in the second stage of devotional perfection to act in accordance with this verse. There are 3 stages of devotional service. In the lowest stage, a devotee is simply concerned with the deity in the temple and he worships the Lord with great devotion, according to the rules and regulations. In the second stage, the devotee is cognizant of his relationship with the Lord, his relationship with fellow devotees, his relationship with persons who are innocent and relationship with persons who are envious. Sometimes devotees are ill-treated by envious persons. It is advised that an advanced devotee should be tolerant. He should show complete mercy to persons who are ignorant or innocent. A preacher devotee is meant to show mercy to innocent persons, whom he can elevate to the devotional service. Everyone by constitutional position is an eternal servant of God. Therefore, a devotee's business is to awaken everyone's Krishna consciousness. That is his mercy. As for a devotee's treatment of other devotees who are his equals, he should maintain friendship with them. His general view should be to see every living entity as part of the Supreme Lord. Different living entities appear in different forms of dress, but according to the instruction of Bhagavad Gita, a learned person sees all living entities equally. Such treatment by the devotee is very much appreciated by the Supreme Lord. It is said, therefore, that a saintly person is always tolerant and merciful. He is friend to everyone, never an enemy to anyone, and he is peaceful. These are some of the good qualities of a devotee. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. So, Swambhya Manu is explaining to Dhruva Mahārāja how when his devotee sees all other living entities also as a part and parcel of the Supreme Lord whom he is worshipping, then the Supreme Lord becomes very pleased. A living entity is when he comes to Krishna consciousness, goes through different stages of development of bhakti. The first stage is where he has not developed any relationship with the Supreme Lord as such. Developing relationship means always being aware of, not remembering sometime. So he has not developed that relationship. But he is engaged in devotional service because of the instruction from the spiritual master. So the stage one of a devotee's devotional service, when he follows the Guru's instructions, like for instance, all the sadhana and service, all these things, he follows that on the order of Guru. And very meticulously, including worshipping the deity, because the spiritual master has directed him how to worship, how to express devotion. All these things are directed by the spiritual master and he simply executes. Now, since he has not developed his own relationship with the Supreme Lord, knowing the Supreme Lord as the supreme source of all living entities, as the supreme father of all living entities, knowing that he begins his relationship with the Supreme Lord, who is everywhere, who is all-pervading, he is in the heart of every living entity. So he starts seeing, as we discussed last time also, that every living entity is accompanied by the super soul, because every living entity is a part and parcel of the whole. The whole person is Krishna. The unlimited whole person is Krishna. And we are his tiny living entities, and we all have a relationship with Krishna. Krishna has a relationship with us because we are persons. So once one becomes aware of one's relationship with the Supreme Lord, then the Shastras prescribe to him 3 types of relationships with other living entities. One is to show compassion upon those who have not yet awakened their relationship or who are not yet aware of their relationship. We are not talking about awakened, we are talking about being aware of that relationship. Having that faith that I am Amsha of Krishna. So those who do not have that faith that I am part and parcel of God, this duty of a Madhyamadhikari, second stage of devotion service, is to preach to them. Preach to them what? Preach to them that, your Lord is Krishna. My Lord is Krishna. Everybody's Lord is Krishna. You are his part. You are a spirit ego, not this material body. You have a spiritual relationship with the Supreme Spirit. So that is one. Next kind of relationship that a Madhyamadhikari engages in is friendly relationship with those who are also in the path of practicing Krishna consciousness, and respectfully they discuss the glories of the Supreme Lord, being aware of the relationship, the Lord and the living entity's relationship. The third type of relationship he engages in is to always feel that he is sheltered by other advanced living entities. He is always sheltered by Guru, he is always sheltered by more advanced Vaishnavas. And therefore, his relationship is that of trying to get their association, and to get their mercy, get their understanding, get their realization. So this is a Madhyama Adhikari's way of developing relationship with other living entities. So he sees that there are neophyte devotees, there are other devotees who are progressed sufficiently, and there are others who are progressed more than me. So three types of perception he holds. This is as far as a spiritual consciousness is concerned. A relationship based on spiritual consciousness. A neophyte, first of all, in his world, only Krishna and he is there in that sense. Deity. And following what the Guru says. He does not live his day as, this is called Vidhi Bhakti. He just does what is told by the Guru. He does not run his day by relationship with Krishna and his devotees. That develops gradually. So anyway, these are all differences based on Vaishnavas, relationship between Vaishnavas. But what about relationship with all the other living entities who are not Vaishnavas? For that, Prabhupada is saying here that, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, we should develop the perception of equality. Equality means all of us are part and parcel of Krishna. These external differences, that somebody is friend, somebody is enemy, like Dhruva Mahārāja was having, or somebody is male, somebody is female, somebody is rich, somebody is poor. These are all different. Somebody is in an animal body, somebody is in a beautiful body, somebody is in an ugly body. So all these kind, intelligent body, unintelligent body, foolish, smart, not smart, lazy, active, all these dualities, many things we see, varieties of living entities who are different from each other. So a devotee develops a perception of equality means he starts seeing the spirit ego than the body. The person is a spirit ego, not this bodily ego. Ego we are all. Ego is a nature of spirit. This microphone does not have an ego. It is not a person. We generally say we are consciousness. What is the most important character of consciousness? It's the ego. Of course, now the details of the present ego it is false ego. Even now in this body, I am ego. I am consciousness. I am ego. Ego means being, desiring, seeing, thinking, feeling, willing, acting, experiencing. These are all the characteristics of ego. None of these things the microphone or table can perform. They're all the nature of spirit. Spirit means ego. The Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, you are not this body, you are the ego in this body. And that ego in this body, the pure ego in this body, is Mamaivamsha Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, is Amsha of that supreme ego. The Lord is the supreme person. Person means ego. So, when a person, when a living entity progresses in spiritual life, he starts seeing the world full of haunted egos. He does not see the whole world as bodies. Haunted egos sitting in the bodies, different type of bodies. What kind of haunting? That depends upon the nature of his yantra in which he is moving. So the different colors that the pure ego is an eternal servant of Krishna. Krishna defined the living entity as Mamaivamsha Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. They're all my amshas. All jivas are my amshas. Same Krishna as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He defined the soul in terms of its function. Eternal function. Jivera Surupoe Nityera Krishna Dasa. Krishnera Nitya Dasa. Krishna's eternal servant. Each living entity is. It's all very important. Because if you look at ourselves, you can go on searching. In this whole self, who am I? Is it not? The whole self, who am I? This body comes and goes. Bodily identity comes and goes with the body. So who am I? It's very difficult by speculation to find out. Only by Shabda Pramana, by descending process of knowledge, you have to understand and you have to realize that understanding. That understanding, Krishna says, Mamevamsha Jiva Loke. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that Jivera Swarupoin Krishnera Nitya Dasa. So ego is, the living entity is part and parcel person of the supreme whole person. And it has a relationship. Person means relationship. And what is that eternal relationship? Is that of servant. The Supreme Lord is the source, is the owner of every living entity. And the relationship is that of service, devotion service, serving the Supreme Lord. Either lovingly serve him or we serve Maya. The dharma of the soul is service. So gradually the devotee understands, by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, to separate this material differences and spiritual differences. Spiritual differences from one person to another person is based on his differences in level of Krishna consciousness. And as far as the non-devotees are concerned, devotees have one sweeping perception that they are all haunted egos. He does not see the bodily differences as differences in the soul. The same equal soul. Soul is equal. Like Prabhupada explained, we are all equal at the spiritual plane. Spiritually equal but materially unequal. Prabhupada was explaining about spiritual communism. He was discussing about communism where they were saying everybody is equal. Prabhupada said real understanding is we are all spiritually equal but materially different. You cannot equate materially everyone. Bodies are different. Elephant's body is different. Human body is different. So one should see bodily difference and should not paste bodily differences to the soul. What we do is, because of bodily identification, we see this person is a different person, this person is a different, this person is different in terms of their body. This person is a male, this person is a female, this person is a dog, this person is an elephant. We see all these kind of things. We paste the bodily difference on the spirit, ego, which is ignorance, which is not the truth. So devotees develop to separate this material body, first within them, to separate the material body and themselves, and to separate the every living entities, spirit, ego, and the body. And once you separate the body from the spirit, then bodily differences are not attached to the spirit. So one sees primarily everybody as equal. All the karmis, all the whole world, everybody as equal. Circumstantially somebody is in one body, another body, different types of bodies. And then he relates with all of them with reference to being part and parcel of the same Lord, my Lord. So Krishna consciousness means his consciousness broadens. In a person who is Krishna conscious, his world is not only him. My problem, my mind, my this thing, my, take 24 hours. All the thoughts are centered around I and mine. Even in the name of spiritual lives. After one realizes that, next level, ultimately I have to relate with the entire existence. I have to relate with Krishna, I have to relate with all living entities. I have to respect Krishna as a Supreme Lord. I have to respect each living entity. As we discussed here, The previous verses, Swayambhuva Manu was telling that you cannot harm the body of these yakshas. They are souls, part and parcel of the same Lord, who has been given their respective bodies by His will for respective purposes, which you have no right to go and interfere and kill those bodies. So as we progress in Krishna consciousness, this aspect of respecting everything in relationship with Krishna is the key consciousness that keeps one away from Maya. If a living entity does not know how to give respect, that ability is not there. A total riffraff is. He does not respect anybody. He cannot respect God also. Unless he evolves into a being who knows how to give respect, whom to give respect, where to give respect, and does not miss giving respect, every living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Only by respecting, only by developing respect for the Supreme Lord, you can feel His presence. A consciousness, as I said, is ego. Without ego, there is no consciousness. And what is the characteristic of ego? This sense of I, that is existential ego. And what is each living entity is absolute existential ego. I am eternal servant of Krishna. When we forget that, then we create a false existential ego that I am this body. We create false existential ego, I am this body. And we create different relationship egos. Father, mother, husband, wife, children, friends, employer, employee, businessman, this, that. So many relationships, unlimited relationships our body creates in this material world. And all these relationships are sitting in our chittam, in our subconscious mind. And the foundation is what? I am the body. The foundation is an illusion. It is not me. Existential ego means, what am I existentially? Existentially, I am an eternal servant of Krishna. But now we feel existentially, I am this body. Who are you? I am this body. Where is your existence? Here. This is the existence. So our existential ego, this is a material existential ego. And this material existential ego creates so many relationship egos in life. And we create a whole world inside us. I create my world inside me. You create your world inside your chittam. Everybody creates their whole world inside their chittam. And in 1 second, the whole world is lost. When the body dies, because the foundation was I am the body, body is not there. So pura kahani zero ho gaya. So we are all living, though we are My eternal existential ego is I am eternal servant of Krishna. Krishna is eternal. Therefore, that relationship of servitude will never break. Krishna is eternal Purna. And I am Amsha. That is my eternal bearing. Based on that, I develop so many relationship egos. Just like based on I am the body, I develop so many relationships. Relationships are meant for fulfilling the purposes of the existential ego. What I feel as me, existential ego, I have certain purpose for existence. That purpose may be, to enjoy power, knowledge, name, fame, whatnot, all those things, pleasure, love. That is normally the existential purpose of every living entity. But when he thinks I am this body, then he thinks that my body and my bodily ego should get power, my bodily ego should get knowledge, my bodily ego should get name, fame, my body should get sense pleasure, my body should feel secure, all these things. But when the existential ego is shifted to I am eternal servant of Krishna, then the same kind of relationship the living entity is also feeling. I feel secure under the protection of Krishna. I am provided for Krishna. I am maintained by Krishna. Just like here also we are concerned about our maintenance. But there the spirit ego is feeling. Bodily automatically. My spirit ego is my existential ego. My spirit ego is always under the care of the Supreme Lord. I am always spiritually provided for. I am always spiritually protected by the Supreme Lord. I am always spiritually engaged. I am always spiritually loved by the perfect loving person, Krishna. So once we shift our existential ego from the ignorant I am this body to that ego that I am the servant of Krishna, then so many relationships in this material world we can have. I can have connection with money. When I think I am the body, my connection with money is meant for the body. When I am absorbed in my existential ego that I am the eternal servant of Krishna, then money is meant for serving Krishna in this world. Or any relationship. Let's say I have a family, I am in the family, I have children, wife, everything. Now your existential ego is not that I am the body. Existential ego is I am servant of Krishna. So the purpose of my existential purpose also has changed, is to please Krishna. So how I will develop relationship with my children, how I will develop relationship with my wife, how I will relationship with my community, in a way in which I fulfill my existential relationship, existential desires to please the Supreme Eternal Krishna. See how everything changes. That is the reason why when we come to Krishna Consciousness movement, we come and we learn from Prabhupada that you are servant of Krishna. So our existential ego, even though we are not out of the bodily concept, we first realize this body is Guru and Krishna's. And our entire purpose of life is changed. We have no more physical insecurity of our body, who will take care, who will maintain, all these things. We don't have, because I am not this. My means it is the spirit ego. So now here it is said The Lord is very satisfied as a devotee when the devotee greets other people with tolerance, mercy, friendship, equality. Whenever we will deal with another person, or when somebody comes to you, the biggest impact they have upon you is their ego feeling. It's called egotism. Their egotism. So here it is said that the Lord is very satisfied with this devotee if he has an egotism that is very tolerant, mercy, friendship and equality. So we have to culture this kind of egotism. Our ego with the quality of these kind of bhavanas, sadbhavanas, of humility, tolerance, patience, kindness, fairness, all these different kinds of qualities of the ego. Qualities of the ego are called personality. Oh, he is a very merciful personality. He is a very friendly personality. He is a very merciful personality. He is a very tolerant personality. All these automatically, this is the nature of the servant of Krishna. It is the qualities of the servant of Krishna. When we awaken our original consciousness that I am eternal servant of Krishna, now we are practicing, I am eternal, I am servant of Krishna, we are practicing. We are practicing to develop a spiritual egotism by engaging in service of the Lord, by learning how to respect everyone, every living entity, how to respect. And then once our consciousness, chittam, becomes pure of all these contaminations of false ego, which is piled up since so many millions of lives. And this particular life with so many things centered around the body, all these false egos and false ego desires, all those things, once it is cleaned up by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, then it is said that our original Atma Bhavana, our original feelings of the soul is awakened. If you practice being merciful now, it will awaken your soul's merciful nature. Like that, all these different qualities, this practice is called sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti is to live a life as if you are in the spiritual world. But you are not. Sadhana bhakti is designed in such a way that as if you have a spiritual mind and a spiritual body. If you see all the things one is asked to do, not to do, everything, is to purify our mind, to bring it to the same vibration as our spiritual mind and spiritual body. That is the purpose of sadhana bhakti. Fine-tuning our yantra in such a way that it will awaken my Shuddha Chitta, pure consciousness. And pure consciousness awakening, it is not planted, it is awakening. We are all eternal, pure servants of the Lord. What we feel now, our egotism, is a contaminated egotism. Just like pure white light, if you put a green glass, you'll see everything after that as green. The same way, this false ego is coloring our entire existence, our egotism. I and mine is colored. I am servant of Krishna. I have relationship with everything in existence in service of Lord Krishna. That is colorless, pure ego. Uncontaminated ego. And that is where the spiritual master takes us by giving us instructions which, if followed, will cleanse our heart and develop and awaken our original egotism. So actually the whole goal of spiritual life is to develop my pure egotism, my pure sense of I, my pure sense of my relationship with everything else. That is the goal of life. We have that I-ness and my-ness is a nature of the soul, nature of consciousness. As I said, this doesn't feel my anything. It doesn't feel any I. But the soul feels I, who am I? And the soul feels also my friend, my Lord, my, I and my, ahanta and mamata. Never leaves the soul. It's the nature of the soul. Of course, impersonalists say there is no I, there is no my, there is no everything. But Vaishnava Siddhanta says irreducibly each living entity is an individual. And advancement in spiritual life means how to awaken that perfect individuality. The key point of that personality is respect for God, respect for every part and parcel of God. So as I said, riffraffs cannot progress in spiritual life, riffraffs. Sensitive people can progress in spiritual life. They have to be sensitive about even how to treat a karmi. There is a soul in that body. How to treat even an enemy. You have to be sensitive. When you are sensitive, then Krishna will give us the intelligence how to be sensitive. And that is broad consciousness, which Swayambhu Manu is preaching to Dhruva Mahārāja. Don't be narrow-minded. Broaden your perspective. Everybody is part and parcel of God, and everybody has to go according to the will of the Lord. You cannot go against the will of the Lord and kill all these living entities, depriving them of their bodies, which is given according to the ultimate scheme of the Lord. Violence to other living entities. It amounts to disrespecting the living entity. Living entity is right to live in a body. Questions? Mike.
Dhanwad Pranam Prabhuji. Prabhuji, it is easier said than done that we should see the spirit in all the living entity as a individual part of the Godhead. But it's very difficult to imbibe in ourselves. We keep on trying to make us understand that all the living entities have the soul and we should consider them as soul. But it is not coming up that way. How to imbibe that spirit? How to...
Everything that I said, simply by this hearing that instruction, you cannot implement. If you chant Hare Krishna, if you follow Guru's order, I explained, there is a lifestyle that is prescribed by the spiritual master, a sadhana lifestyle. You follow all those things. For getting this pure knowledge of how to see this world as per Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, that insight to see them equally, etc., can come only by spiritual strength, by following, most important thing, chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. See, now we are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam class, right? Now people who are sitting here, that is not their only strength. They are hearing Bhagavatam, they are hearing that instruction. Everybody should be seen spiritually equal, correct? But behind them there is sadhana, behind them there is reading of Prabhupada's books, behind them they are serving the Lord, their lifestyle, everything. So it's easy for them to practice. So it's a whole package. That is why one has to, in order to come to the spiritual platform, one has to surrender to a spiritual master. Surrender to a spiritual master means, what does the spiritual master want me to do from morning till evening, so that I get enlightened about all these things. And it all begins with chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is a general instruction Prabhupada has given, whether you are able to get up in the morning, whether you are able to follow regulative principle, start chanting Hare Krishna. This is the meaning of Yuga Dharma. Start chanting Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam. Somebody said, I cannot give up wine. Prabhupada said, chant Hare Krishna. Start chanting. Somebody says, I cannot give up smoking. Start chanting Hare Krishna. Take a japamala and chant every day. Smoking will go. All these anarthas will go. So it's a serious process. The gift you are getting is you are getting liberated from this material world, from this material body of suffering. You think that you will get it without, putting some effort? We are so rajasic that we think, okay, here is something I'll read, one line, this is the secret of everything, mil gaya sab. ऐसा नहीं चलेगा, ऐसा मिलेगा भी नहीं. आपको मिलेगा थोड़ा थोड़ा से. Daily sadhana you do, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, drop by drop, Divya Gyan will show up in your heart. Grandaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. He had a question, that boy had a question. Yeah, give him the microphone.
Prabhu Hare Krishna, I want to ask about Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, our spiritual guru. From other acharyas, Prabhupada is differentiate because of along other acharyas. From them, Prabhupada is different because along with description he is giving prescription also.
Huh?
Along with description he is giving prescription also. Prescription.
Huh?
Yeah. So, what makes him to do correct description and prescription to devotees or who want to serve Krishna?
What prescription you should follow?
No. What makes him to do the correct description and prescription in a right way? How he is capable?
How he is capable?
How he is capable to give correct description and prescription to the Krishna Consciousness people?
Yeah, because he is in direct communication with Krishna. Therefore, he is able to give what is Krishna's prescription to living entities. It is not his prescription. It is Krishna's. So he is a representative of Krishna. Therefore, it is this Prabhupada's mission is Krishna's mission. It is Vaikuntha mission. It is all connected to the Supreme Lord directly with Krishna. So that empowers him. Okay. Because of his perfect devotion, Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya. He is very dear to Krishna, completely surrendered to Vishnu. Therefore he gets all the instruction as an Acharya to change the whole world.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavatam ki,